All right, everybody. So we are here at the conclusion of our amazing week that we've had. We've done a lot of amazing work this week, and I thought it would be nice to have a sit-down discussion about everybody's experiences. So this is, Friday, about 3 o'clock. And we just delivered some beautiful teeth for our case from yesterday. And we finished our surgery for this morning. And overall, it was a pretty cool week. But, Dr. Desai, tell us what we did this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
giving me the spotlight. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, first, buddy.
Well, so it's really just surgically, I think we did everything as you would do normally. The only one difference is we didn't place any fiducials. We did 3 surgeries, all double arches. Even with the mandibles, we got really good alignment, and midlines, spot on midline on all 6 arches. Cant was perfect, minimal adjustment on the occlusion. But yeah, I mean, combine that with the traditional surgical techniques that Ryan, goes over already. I think you get like really good predictable outcomes and very fast, very fast.
So tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea to use photogrammetry twice in your surgeries instead of the kind of, I don't want to say traditional because traditional means analog, but the mainstream digital workflow that's out there with photogrammetry is to combine a tissue scan with a photogrammetry scan. And for most cases that works, but for some cases it doesn't work and you end up with canted occlusion or malocclusion or something that doesn't look right. So how did you come up with the idea to skip the tissue scan and use photogrammetry alignment?
So I've been using exocad since 2015, practically a year after graduation. And I've been designing my cases ever since. I started with the All-Next journey circa 2016, 2017. I do designs for my full arches. I do designs for some of my friends' arches. And, it kind of stuck out to me that I never really care about the tissue, because one of the things that we always look for is I want an ideal intaglio. If the tissue is not ideal, I'll tell them, make a crestal cut, let the prosthetic seat, and then the tissue will heal just fine. It will heal just perfect. So as a result of that, I'm like, you know what? Then why do I need a tissue scan to begin with on a surgery day? And fast forward with multiple steps, forward, I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I can bypass the fiducials that we all do. And that was the birth of the Desai Splint. You just need two photogrammetry attached to a tooth, and that's your fiducial. So you just modify your surgery just a little bit, modify your suturing a little bit, which actually is helpful. Even leaving the tooth is helpful because you can position your MUAs a lot better, and you just get a lot more predictable outcome. Is it going to be 100% perfect? I wouldn't say so 100%, but it's going to be as good or better than any other fiducial out there, because you won't have any blood to throw away your intraoral scan. There's no cross-arch inaccuracy with the intraoral scan. I think you'll get like a really good 99% outcome, pretty much every single time. Yeah, so it's what I call photogrammetry accuracy on bite records.
Yeah, I felt like the registration and the alignment and the delivery was as good, if not better, than my average, which is already pretty good.
Yeah.
But the ability to eliminate the mid-op tissue scan and the post-op tissue scan, to me, it does offer some advantages.
Yeah, and even like time-wise, because I'm doing less and less sedation cases now. So I'm spending less time on the surgery, which means that if it's an hour and a half, I can definitely do local anesthesia. I don't necessarily need sedation for that. I can do, a little bit more cases per month because my overall time is less, and I get predictable outcome. The tissue is, bleep me for this, but the tissue is your.
That's good.
You want to let the tissue tell. You want to tell the tissue, I want you to heal this way, not the other way around. You don't want the tissue to tell you where your prosthetic needs to be.
Right. Hashtag make the tissue your.
Like that.
Dr. Desai, you do all of your own lab work pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that a full arch dentist needs to understand the lab aspect of this?
Yeah. So even if you don't end up doing it yourself, you 100% need to do, understand what goes behind the scenes. It's it's like going way back, but it's like surveying, right? You never do surveying yourself, but if you're doing a partial denture, you need to know and you need to communicate with the lab that what you need, and that it's really all about making sure that you can communicate what you require out of your lab technician to make a really beautiful all-on-4, right? So I still do 80% of the lab work myself, short of the actual milling and the glazing. Yeah. But the designing, I still do all of my cases all myself. It's a lot of work, but I find it peaceful. For me, it's like I just get in my zone and design my arches. And when I see the patient outcomes come out with the tissue exactly where we want it, more scientifically, prosthetically driven tissue generation, right? It's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times, even in the 6 arches that we did this week, I can't tell you how many times I saw something during surgery that I knew would become a lab issue, or I knew that we could make better because I can foresee what the design's going to look like. So the more you understand the laboratory aspect of full arch dentistry, the better you become as a surgeon. So when I get oral surgeons or periodontists who come to my courses and they tell me that they don't want to understand any aspect of the laboratory, just they want to give it to someone, it's a little nerve-wracking because I know how important it is.
Everything is prosthetically driven.
It is.
We start from outside inside.
Right, yeah. Right. And obviously, surgery is surgery and you need to abide by the surgical principles, but if you're able to make small changes to your surgical approach because you understand laboratory process or milling or design or sintering, I can't tell. Even today, I think we had MUAs, right? We had MUAs chosen, and they were acceptable. They were acceptable to within the standards. But I told you guys, hey, I can foresee a milling issue down the road because we are 25 or 30 degrees off axis between the back one and the front one. So what did we do? Even though it took longer and it was annoying, we took off the 30-degree abutment that we put on the back and we put on a 45-degree, correcting it and making it more parallel so that we can mill the case faster and with less complications. So understanding those laboratory principles and applying those to your surgical and your restorative approach, I think is fundamental to full arch dentistry. I think you can get away, if you're a veneer dentist, if you're a crown and bridge dentist, you can get away with kind of leaning on the lab because there's master technicians that can give you beautiful aesthetics, beautiful occlusion, and you're just the guy who preps the teeth and puts the teeth on. But if you're going to get into full arch dentistry, you have to have a backbone in laboratory, because it will just make your life better, it will make your life easier, and it will allow you to excel. So that's kind of my take-home message, and that's why I'm so happy you came this week, because I couldn't visualize, I could understand it, but we talked so many times. The seeing it in action really put it into reality for me.
The Desai Splint would have never happened if I didn't do my own lab work.
Right.
You don't need to do all the steps, right? So you don't need to, take the ball to the goal all by yourself, but you need to be the quarterback. You need to be the captain to be guiding and swapping off multi-units if you need to, just to make it easy or more predictable on the lab work.
That's the key, I think, is have a quality lab technician that works with you or for you. You as the dentist or surgeon have to understand the lab component. You have to understand the technology. You need to be the quarterback, like Dr. Desai just mentioned, and you need to always be learning. There's always something new. I have been doing full arch dentistry for 15 years, and I have been doing digital full arch dentistry for 8 years, and I learned something this week. So, you never stop learning, you never stop engaging. I learned a lot this week about Dr. Desai's techniques. I think that they're really, really the next iteration of this. Maybe after this you'll eliminate some other step. You never know. But consolidation of steps, consolidation of information, predictability, reliability. That's the road that we're on, and that's why I was really excited to have you here this week. And I got to learn something.
I got to learn a lot too.
Right.
I mean, even as a surgeon, it's just like the smallest of smallest tips, right? Like the selection of burr for bone reduction. I mean, that I thought that worked really nice, and I already placed the order. It's going to be in my home tomorrow morning.
Good.
Yeah. Well, so it's really like legacy techniques always work, right? So
Yes,
I can still go back to picking up temporary cylinders if it really comes to it, right? So a single technique doesn't have to be the only technique, and there's a few times where you need to go to legacy techniques, right? Like dentures, we spoke about it, and I think I think there's a solution that I have that will work really well for that. I actually have a denture case on Tuesday, so I'll be
Well, let us know
I'll be
how it
doing that. But falling back on legacy techniques is always helpful.
Stay tuned for more from Full Arch Masters on the Full Arch Masters podcast. You can check us out online, fullarchmasters.com. Sign up for a course. Come on out. I think we have a flagship course coming up in July. So check us out online and come out to a course. I guarantee you're going to learn something. You're going to be inspired, and you're going to have a lot of fun along the way. So peace out from Fresno, California. Have a great weekend.